the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. I'm Pastor Marianne Kellenbach, pastor at Living Faith Church, which is located in the Master Plan Community of Tradition in the city of Port St. Lucie in the state of Florida. And today is Wednesday, October the 20th in the year 2021. We are focusing this week again on understanding who we are, and also what we're called to do. So, we're talking about that topic of us being managers or stewards of all that God owns. And so we're really looking at the scripture that reminds us of that. That is, this is not something that's made up, but that we are called to be stewards of everything that God has given to us, including our lives. So last week we took a look at some scripture. We continue on with this week. Last week we really focused on the fact that God has created everything, including us. And if God created, God owns it, as God owns us. And let's face it, we don't like to be owned by anyone. But how could we not want to be owned by our very Creator, who in the act of creating has given us nothing but love, creation out of love, not creation out of ensuring that we serve. You know, the gods of the old were the gods that created humanity, that the humanity would serve the gods and please the gods. No, we have a God who has created us not to serve God, but to take care of all that God has created. And that's what we're reminded of, a God who provides for us each and every single day. So, in saying that, let's take a look at the scripture that I had there from yesterday. It is from Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy is looked upon as the words that Moses would have written down to tell those who would be entering the promised land how to behave. And so reminding them of many of the things, who they are, who God is, the God who set them free from being enslaved in Egypt. And so that's a piece that we're going to take a look at. So we're going to start from Deuteronomy and listen to these words. Take care that you do not forget the Lord your God by failing to keep the Lord's commandments, his ordinances, and his statutes, which I am commanding you today. When you have eaten your fill, and have built your fine houses and live in them, and when your herds and flocks have multiplied, and your silver and gold is multiplied, and all that you have is multiplied, then do not exalt yourself, forgetting the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of slavery, who led you through the great and terrible wilderness, an arid wasteland with poisonous snakes and scorpions. God made water flow for you from flint rock and fed you in the wilderness with manna that your ancestors did not know, to humble you and to test you, and in the end to do you good. Do not say to yourself, and here's where we picked up, my power and the might of my own hand have gotten me this wealth. But remember the Lord your God, for it is he who gives you power to get wealth, so that he may confirm his covenant that he swore to your ancestors, as he is doing today. I love this. I am pulling some of our things that we're going to be looking at from Charles Chick Lane's book, Reflections on Faith and Fitness. Prior to the pandemic actually hitting, each person had been given a copy of this book in our congregation. And so we're going to take a look at some of what Chick has to say in this. And as it relates to this particular scripture, what he says is, God did not just create the world and all that is in it and then turn us loose, allowing us to rely on our own craft and creativity. This world isn't about the survival of the fittest. This world isn't a setting for the smartest and the most tenacious to amass the most wealth because of their superior abilities and then smugly crow about their accomplishments. I love Chick. He gets right to the point. This is on page 4 of the book. God did not just create the world and turn us loose. God is not only the creator of all that is, God is the source of the wisdom and tenacity. It is God, remember, verse 18, who gives you power to get wealth. If I have brains that allow me to earn a living, God is the source of those brains, Chick continues to write. If I have strength that allows me to earn a living, God is the source of that strength. If I am fortunate enough to live in a country flowing with milk and honey, with wealth beyond any country in all of history, God is the source of that as well. And since God is the owner of all that is, and since God is the source of all the abilities and resources that allow me to live a more comfortable life, then there is no room left for me to imagine that I am the source of my good life. God is. Let's remember, because we can so easily forget. And I wrote in yesterday's devotion that we can be all focused about me and look what I have done. And it's all, I'm a self-serving, or I'm a self-made person. We hear that all the time, right? I'm a self-made person, I'm a self-made person. No, we're not. And we can easily forget that because this world continues to tell us that again and again and again. But Scripture tells us otherwise. God is the source of all that is. And we give thanks to God on this day that we have been given all of our brains, all of our ability, all of the knowledge and the wisdom that we are where we are today. Blessings to you on this day, and I will see you back here tomorrow.